Alright, hello and welcome back to Let's Read No Substitutions by Marty M. Engle, part of the Strange Matter series. Let's full screen this page and continue to read. Chapter 16. Stacy Calhoun marched through the glass doors of McDonald's like he owned the place. He looked from side to side with his nostrils flaring, like some kind of hunter, like a wolf. I swallowed hard. Then I almost choked because Mom waved and smiled at him. I couldn't believe it. Mom knew him? "Stacy!" she cried out cheerfully. I tried to stop her. I even grabbed her arm to stop her frantic waving. Too late. Mom, the social butterfly, was in full flutter. Shelley looked at me, her eyes pleading for me to do something. I couldn't. She started to slide down in her plastic yellow seat. Only the top of her blonde head poked out above the table. Stacy saw us and walked towards us smiling. Mom stood up so fast she nearly knocked over the drink from my trembling hand. She seemed excited to see him. "Stacy Calhoun, come on over here. I haven't seen you in ages." Dad cringed. Somehow I got the feeling that Dad didn't like this guy either. Mom, Dad, and the former quarterback turned terrorist substitute exchanged brief accounts of their current activities, chatted about how long it had been since they had last seen each other, and about how they ought to get some time together. I sat there, trying not to look in his direction. Every word he said made my skin crawl, like the sound of fingernails on a chalkboard. Sheer torture. Shelley's mom and dad knew this guy's creepy past. Why didn't my parents? They talked to him like they'd been friends since the 6th grade. I even heard Mom mention dinner at our house some night. Suddenly, I felt a large hand on my shoulder. I couldn't help but cringe. "Hello, Curtis. No hard feelings, I hope," the devil said, smiling. I looked up at him and almost gasped. The fine layer of blonde hair that covered his face before had grown thicker. Every strand was visible, and his eyebrows had grown completely together. His eyes shone like steel mirrors. I tried to talk, but I couldn't. Shelley kicked me under the table. She had been staring out of the window at his truck. She raised her eyebrows as if trying to say something. "I think they're still a little embarrassed about the incident at school, Stacy," Dad said coldly. "Oh well, that's all over now. I think they learned their lesson. Besides," Stacy snapped his gaze away from me and peered at my dad. "You can't say we never did anything like that when we were in school, can you, Bill?" Stacy chuckled and punched Dad in the arm. Dad winced, visibly uncomfortable. He shifted in his seat. "You guys know each other in school?" I asked. Shelley kicked me again. "Oh yes," Stacy replied with a smile. "We met after school on several occasions." Stacy laughed. Thankfully, a McDonald's employee interrupted before Dad's temper exploded. "Excuse me, sir, but I'm gonna have to ask you to move your truck. It's in a handicapped parking spot." "All right, I'll move it," Stacy snapped at the poor girl. He regained his composure as he apologized to Mom and Dad. "Well, we'd better be going," Mom said. She handed Dad a tray and began gathering wrappers and cups. I stood up quickly, ready to leave. Stacy placed his hand firmly on my shoulder. "By the way," he whispered into my ear, "I just paid a little visit to your friend, Mr. Mayfield. I'm afraid he's going to need a substitute tomorrow." Through the noise in my throbbing head, I saw Mr. Mayfield's dog's teeth and the dot of blood coming out of my finger, over and over again. Then I saw the terrible pentagram on Mr. Mayfield's palm. Mom and Dad quietly chatted about Stacy's rudeness when Shelley kicked me again, hard. I was ready to yell at her when I saw her nod towards the truck. I looked out the window as Stacy reached to the door. In the back of the truck were 2 large boxes from school. It hit me like a flash. I knew then what I had to do. Let's continue. Chapter 17. I have to go to the bathroom, I cried, running towards the restrooms. Slow down, Curtis. No running, Mom yelled as I rounded the corner. Shelley must have known what I planned to do. She gave me a nod. To the right of the restrooms was the door leading outside. I knew that once I went through that door, Mom and Dad couldn't help me anymore. I'd be on my own and taking my own life in my hands. I took a deep breath and slipped outside. The sting of the cold night air surprised me. I crept alongside the building and stood against the wall. The buzzing fluorescent lights above me attracted tiny moths that fluttered around like snow. I brushed a few away as I saw the truck roll to a stop at the furthest parking spot in the parking lot. He would have to pull away out there in the dark, of course. Well, Mom and Dad would be less likely to notice me out there. Then again, if I got into trouble, they would be less likely to notice me out there. Fine. I steadied my nerves and waited until I saw Stacy's hulking form disappear back inside the restaurant. I went for the truck, hoping no one was watching. I saw no other cars around and noticed only the parking lot light in the area had been burned out. The truck was incredibly tall. I couldn't even see the darkened windows. It didn't matter. I was after something in the back. I put my foot on the tire and climbed, landing with a soft thump in the back of the truck. The bed was wet with dew. Toward the front sat 2 large boxes, a couple of full garbage bags. I crept towards the boxes. Somehow I knew those boxes. One taped shut, the other one open, probably held the answers to this puzzle. I never even noticed the window in the back of the truck cab, a small black rectangle, half open. As I reached the boxes, I smelled something very strange coming from that little window. With a blurring rustle of movement and a loud snap, the window filled with snarling, snapping jaws of a large wolf. The howls and barks made my heart stop, and I felt the hot wind from its snout on my arm. From the dark cab glowed 2 little fierce coals. I fell backwards as rows of razor-sharp teeth tried to chew their way out of that little black window, and it wanted to chew me. Let's continue. Chapter 18. My hand darted again between the glinting fangs that snarled and gnashed the air. I cried and moaned softly, but I had to reach that box, even if it cost me my hand. I pulled away again in time to feel the rush of air from its gaping mouth. I could hear the snap of the jaws and the scrape of the razor-sharp claws on the window. Sobbing, I reached towards the box. It tumbled to its side, and the book slid out with a loud thud. I grabbed it with both hands and jumped off the side of the truck. The wolf in the truck cab ran back and forth on the seat, causing it to shake wildly from side to side. From the corner of my eye and through the growing mist, I saw the same hulking figure I had seen before, the same one that had tried to kill Shelley and me with the car. I knew it was Calhoun. I ran so fast and so hard I almost didn't feel my feet touching the ground. I ran straight to Mom and Dad's car and flung open the rear door. In 2 seconds, I slammed the rear door and had it locked. I lay down in the back seat, my chest heaving and my stomach in knots. I stashed the book under the front seat. I had never been so scared in my life. I knew he was coming. Any second now, I would hear the scraping of his claws on the door. I would feel the car rocking from his ponderous weight. He would bound across the pavement, and in 2 seconds crash through the window, dragging me out by my feet, and then the door opened. The light came on in the car. I screamed. "Curtis, what is wrong with you?" Mom cried. "Tell me you didn't cause all that commotion in the restaurant," Dad barked. I blinked. I couldn't believe it. Only Mom and Dad and Shelley. I would live, at least for a moment. Shelley nudged me over and climbed into the back seat. "Did you see him?" she whispered. "I thought he came this way." Dad started the car. "I thought you were going to the bathroom. We were waiting for you inside." "Sorry," I mumbled, still shaking all over. "I didn't see you." "Well, you'd better not have been in that prank. Well, you better not have been in on that prank in there. It was not funny. Someone could have been hurt." "Prank?" I asked, looking over at Shelley. "Some kids made a horrible mess in there," Mom said. "I just feel bad for that manager. It'll take him all night to get it cleaned up." Dad agreed. "Kids like that spoil everything for everyone else. It's not funny. When we were kids..." I leaned over to Shelley as Dad rattled on about himself and his peers. "I think I saw him. He chased me to this car," I whispered. Shelley grabbed my hand. Her sweaty hand trembled. Fear lowered her voice even more than before. Mom and Dad could not hear her. "After he came back from moving his truck, he asked where you'd gone. They told him the bathroom. He said, 'Oh,' and walked off. I told your Mom and Dad I had to go too, so I could keep an eye on him for you. I rounded the corner, heading towards the restroom, when I heard an angry howl and a slam, like a stall door being slammed. Then it sounded like the walls of the bathroom were being pounded into rubble. The paintings on the wall outside the bathroom all fell and shattered when they hit the ground. Then I saw it. From out of the men's room door busted this large, fur-covered thing that moved like a black shadow. It sprang up with 2 leaps out of the side door. Kurt, it stood up as tall as the ceiling. I screamed my head off. It had to be him, Curtis. It had to be Stacy Calhoun. Shelley had squeezed all the blood from my hand. "He knew we were onto him. He'll be back. He'll come back to get it." I pointed at the book under my seat. "But this time, we'll be ready." Okay, and I think that's where I'm going to leave it here today, so hopefully you enjoyed that. Nice little free chapters. Hey, we've got less than 10 days to Halloween. I'm not sure if I'm going to finish this in time, but we'll see. I'll be back to continue the book reading is fun series. See you later. Bye.